Hi, you're watching Floyd Steinberg's YouTube channel. One of Spherical Sound Society sent me his GlitchStorm for review, and also the new Honest and Die drum computer. Unfortunately, that one got damaged on the way here, so instead I'll use the TherapSID and the GlitchStorm together because I think they go together quite well. So if you think that's an interesting topic, please join me in this video for some 8-bit tunes. Here we go. The GlitchStorm is a ByteBeat synthesizer. I've explained this concept in my video on the Florian synthesizer by the same developer some months ago. Basically, you create a simple mathematical formula that creates values for an 8-bit, 8 kHz audio stream on the fly. Changing the variables in the formula will create interesting new sounds and patterns. GlitchStorm takes that idea and lets you change the mathematical side with some knobs and buttons. The button on the left lets you change the algorithm. The small knob in the middle changes the speed or frequency. The 3 knobs on the bottom can be used to tweak parameters, which change depending on the algorithm you chose previously. It's not really necessary to know what they do exactly, as you will get a feeling for this while playing around with those knobs. I think of this device as an old-time radio in a valley far away that can tune into foreign radio stations. You'll hear distorted transmission of something that sounds quite like music, and maybe that will spark an idea. I'll let the video run for a couple of minutes now without further commentary, and then I'll add the TherapSID synthesizer into the mix. As you've seen and heard, you never quite know what to expect here. One slight move of a knob takes you into a totally different terrain. Let's change this setup now and add some more hardware. Let's add even more hardware. The TherapSID is not a complete synthesizer. It's a device that lets you control up to 2 SID chips. These were the sound chips found in the Commodore 64 home computer, which was quite popular in the 80s. The SID chip has 3 digital 8-bit oscillators and analog filters, and its sound is immediately recognizable. It was designed in 1981 by Bob Jans, one of the co-founders of Ensoniq. So apart from the TherapSID shell itself, you need 1 or 2 SID chips. You can find these on eBay, and depending on the revision, you'll have to pay between 20 and 100 credits for one, with revision 3 being the most expensive one because it's the least noisy of the bunch. Nowadays you can also choose from a variety of replicas, the best one being the ARM SID. This is a whole microcomputer running a SID emulator sitting on a SID-shaped chip. It's around 40 credits and it's not a 100% faithful recreation of the original, but if you like to have a noise-free synthesizer and you can live without the analog filters, you will get 9 voices of polyphony and a crystal clear sound out of these. Once you have both chips and the TherapSID, it's time to assemble and set up some dip switches, and once that's done, you can start making music. Here are some sequences in which I use the GlitchStorm as an inspiration machine. In my opinion, the TherapSID suffers from design choices on the user interface. There are a lot of button combos needed for accessing important information. I think it would have been nicer to have dedicated labeled buttons for functions like polyphony setup, arpeggiator latch, and so on. Contrary, one could have saved space for these extra buttons by only implementing one set of knobs for amp envelope instead of 3, then adding an oscillator selector switch. Same for the envelope knobs. We have now 12 knobs where 4 and a selector switch would have been perfectly fine, and that would have created space for some volume knobs for the oscillators. Currently, only the master volume can be adjusted by holding down the scrub button and then moving the filter knob, which is kind of unintuitive. But who am I to complain? Just listen to these super fat sounds. I saw this synth on Superbooth and I knew I needed this. With the latest firmware, the TherapSID can also be used as a playback device for ASID files, so you can play back your favorite chiptunes. The GlitchStorm is a fun and, at roughly 20 credits, a relatively inexpensive sound gadget. With its clock output, it can be a great addition to a UROC setup, for example. While the sonic output will certainly be perceived as very annoying by your family members, you'll find many interesting rhythms and riffs here for sure, and often you find yourself spending much more time with it than you had planned for. One thing I'd wish for is a patch storage and selection tool, so you could save a nice sequence you found and recall later, or even line up a sequence of such patches. Yeah, and that's it for today. Spherical Sound Society's GlitchStorm, another ByteBeat synthesizer with a fun 8-bit twist. And if you think this was a good YouTube video, please do the YouTube thing. As always, you can support me on Patreon, Bandcamp, Apple Music, Spotify, links are in this video's description. Thanks for watching, and see you again very, very soon. Bye bye!